There is a moment every student faces when studying alone begins to feel like walking through a fog, where the pages are turning but nothing truly settles into the mind. And it is in that quiet frustration that the idea of group study begins to shine like a promise of clarity and momentum. Yet, what most people fail to realize is that studying in a group is not automatically powerful. It is not a shortcut to success, and it is not a guarantee of productivity, because when done without intention, it can quietly become one of the biggest distractions disguised as effort. But when approached with awareness and purpose, it transforms into a force that sharpens thinking, deepens understanding, and builds a level of discipline that is difficult to achieve alone. And this is where the real question begins. Not whether group study works, but how it works and when it truly serves you. Because there is a hidden difference between sitting with others and actually learning with them. And that difference is what separates average students from those who rise with confidence during exams. As effective group study begins long before anyone gathers around a table, it starts with a clear decision that the time will be used for growth rather than comfort, for progress rather than passive conversation. Because without that decision, the group slowly drifts into unrelated discussions, shared confusion, and wasted hours that create the illusion of hard work. And the truth is that the mind thrives on focus and direction, not noise and randomness, which is why the most powerful group sessions are built on clarity, where each person understands the goal, the subject, and the outcome expected from that time together. And when this clarity exists, something remarkable begins to happen. The group becomes a mirror where ideas are tested, explained, challenged, and refined, allowing each individual to see gaps in their understanding that would have remained hidden in isolation. And this is where learning deepens, because teaching others forces the brain to organize thoughts, simplify complex ideas, and strengthen memory in a way that passive reading never can. And yet, there is another layer that most overlook, which is the energy of shared commitment. Because when you surround yourself with people who are equally serious about their goals, your own level of discipline rises without force. Your focus sharpens without struggle, and your motivation becomes consistent rather than temporary. But this only happens when the group is chosen wisely, because the wrong environment can drain your energy faster than studying alone ever could. And so, the power of group study lies not in the number of people, but in the intention they bring, the structure they follow, and the discipline they maintain, faith, and understanding. This is the first step toward turning group sessions into something far greater than a simple study method. It becomes a strategic advantage that reshapes the way you learn and prepares you for challenges beyond the classroom. At first, everything seems to be working perfectly. The group gathers, the books are open, ideas are flowing, and there is a comforting sense that progress is being made. But slowly, almost invisibly, something begins to shift. Focus weakens, conversations stretch beyond the subject, and what once felt productive starts turning into a subtle trap. Because the greatest danger of group study is not failure, it is the illusion of success, the feeling that time spent together automatically equals learning achieved. And this is where many students lose valuable hours without realizing it, as the mind confuses activity with effectiveness. And this quiet drift is what separates disciplined learners from those who struggle despite putting in effort. Because without structure, even the most motivated group can fall apart. And this is where intention must turn into action, where every session needs a clear design that protects focus and demands accountability. Because structure is not restriction, it is the foundation of freedom in learning. And when a group begins with defined topics, specific goals, and a shared understanding of what must be accomplished, the energy in the room changes instantly. Conversations become sharper, explanations become purposeful, and time begins to move with direction rather than distraction. And one of the most powerful methods within this structure is the act of active participation, where each member takes responsibility not just to learn but to contribute, to explain concepts, to ask questions, and to challenge ideas, because it is in this exchange that true understanding is built, not by passively listening but by engaging deeply with the material. And yet, even within this structure, there is a hidden test, because sooner or later the group will face a moment where confusion spreads, where no one seems to fully understand a topic, and frustration begins to rise. And this is the point where most groups break their rhythm, shifting into off-topic conversations or postponing the difficulty for later. But this moment is not a failure. It is the opportunity that defines the strength of the group, because pushing through confusion together forces the brain to think critically, to connect ideas, and to build clarity step by step. And those who stay committed during this phase unlock a deeper level of learning that cannot be achieved through shortcuts. But here is where suspense quietly builds. Because not all groups survive this moment. Some collapse into distraction, others lose motivation, and the few continue with discipline. And the difference between these outcomes is not intelligence. It is consistency and structure. Because the truth is that group study magnifies whatever habits already exist. It amplifies focus if focus is present, and it amplifies distraction if discipline is weak. And understanding this is what transforms a simple gathering into a powerful system, where every session is designed to challenge, refine, and elevate your thinking, preparing you not just for exams, but for the ability to learn effectively in any situation. And in the end, what truly defines the success of group study is not how long you sit together or how often you meet, but how intentionally you use every moment. Because the final transformation happens when you begin to treat each session as a mission rather than a routine, where time is respected, focus is protected, and every individual understands their role in the process. And this is where group study evolves from a simple habit into a powerful system of growth. Because when sessions are structured with purpose, something remarkable begins to unfold. Each member becomes both a student and a teacher, explaining concepts with clarity, challenging assumptions with confidence, and reinforcing knowledge through repetition and discussion. And this dual role strengthens not only understanding, but also the ability to think independently under pressure, which is exactly what exams demand. And as this cycle continues, a deeper sense of accountability emerges, where showing up unprepared is no longer an option, because the group depends on your contribution. And this shared responsibility builds a level of discipline that goes beyond motivation. It becomes a standard you hold yourself to, regardless of how you feel in the moment. And this is where real progress begins to accelerate, because consistency replaces hesitation and clarity replaces confusion. And yet the final lesson of effective group study lies in knowing when to step back, because even the strongest groups cannot replace the need for individual reflection. Where ideas settle, connections strengthen, and true mastery is formed in silence. And understanding this balance between collaboration and solitude is what separates those who simply study from those who truly learn, because growth does not come from extremes. It comes from harmony, from knowing when to engage and when to withdraw, when to listen and when to think deeply on your own. And as you begin to master this rhythm, group study no longer feels like an obligation. It becomes a strategic advantage that sharpens your mind and strengthens your confidence, preparing you not just to pass exams, but to face challenges with clarity and resilience. And this is the ultimate purpose of studying, not just to memorize information, but to develop the ability to learn, adapt, and grow in any situation. And when you carry this mindset into every session, every discussion, and every moment of preparation, you begin to unlock a level of potential that goes far beyond what you once believed possible. Because success is not built in isolated effort alone. It is shaped through meaningful collaboration, guided by discipline and purpose. And when you truly understand this, group study becomes more than a method. It becomes a path toward mastery, confidence, and lasting achievement. So if you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, think, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.